So let's talk about the LS460. This is my 2013 Lexus LS460 all-wheel drive. I bought it about 3 or 4 weeks ago. I've driven it a few times, but I haven't driven it too much because of an issue it has. Now, my last video announcing this thing, it got a ton of views and comments, and everyone really wanted to see some more on this. I just haven't really had a lot of time to make the content, so I'm finally making this video that's kind of an update video on why I haven't driven it and what I need to do to it. So we're just here in my driveway, and interior, like shown in the other video, looks pretty good. Got some wear on the steering wheel here, but I want to show you the code that shows up with this thing when I really hammer on it. It's a cylinder 6 misfire, which I've replaced all the spark plugs at this point and the bad ignition coil, and still having this issue that when I step on it, I get a flashing check engine light and there is a code for cylinder 6 misfire. I've also run BG44K in the gas tank the last, I don't know, 100 miles. And the car seems to be running better, but it's still not at its full potential. You could tell even going 60 on the highway, it doesn't feel like it should. I know it should feel good. It's a 4.6 liter V8. I had the ISF with the 5 liter, and obviously that had more power and everything. It was a lighter car, but this should have a little more oomph. The Sequoia feels like it has more power and torque and everything than this. And I know that's not true because this is all-wheel drive and more horsepower and torque than that. It's just like, that's kind of more, sadly, enjoyable to drive these days than this. This was supposed to be my, you know, comfortable cruiser. So I started doing some research on what it could even be, and it looks like it could be a direct injector. There's port injectors kind of on the top of the engine, and then there's direct injectors inside under the intake manifold. So I'm thinking I'm going to do a few things to this. I'm going to bring it to my shop and kind of open it up and replace a bunch of gaskets and things like that, as well as check the injectors and check the compression on cylinder 6. Make sure it's good. Hopefully this engine is still good. It does run and everything. There is a little bit of a vibration, which is the misfire. Right now it sounds kind of rough. It's been sitting, it's a cold start. But we'll take a look at the engine bay. You can hear the fuel pump going. That's the direct injection cylinder 6. You can see the ignition coil. These have gaskets that go bad, so I'm going to replace those. There's a little bit of a leak. I'm also going to try to do valve cover gaskets. This is the whole harness that comes off. It's going to come off and then have to take the intake manifold off, do new gaskets. And once that's all out of the way, the direct injectors are underneath. The port injectors are actually on a rail over here under this, and then direct injectors are under this intake manifold. So kind of not super easy to get to, a lot of stuff to take off, but I'm just planning to replace it all at this point to rule out anything that could be causing this issue. So back in the car now, and yeah, I just have a misfire in cylinder 6. On idle it's fine, it's just really under load that this check engine light comes on and the code is stored. Now I have cleared the DTC diagnostic trouble code or check engine light. I cleared it and I haven't driven it since, so it's not going to show up. Cylinder 6 misfire. It's not the spark plug, it's not the ignition coil, because those were replaced and swapped and tried 2 different ways and everything, and it's just not that. But the plan is to just start taking it apart and figure out what the actual issue is, because I want to say it's a direct injector, but I'm like only 90% sure of that. It could be the intake manifold gasket is bad, it's letting in air, and here it goes, now it's shaking. It could be the port injectors and the direct injectors are bad. I mean, these are just problems that are going to arise at 200,000 miles. This could happen with any car. I mean, it still runs and drives. I can still drive it places, which is nice. I just am trying not to, just until I get that fixed. So I tried all the easy stuff. Now it's time to dive into the hard stuff. Got some stuff from Rock Auto coming. I'm looking at exactly what injectors I need. I think I'm gonna take it apart before I actually dive in and start ordering stuff. I'm gonna see the exact injector and then try to order that and just bring you along on the way. So that is the plan with this car. I wish it was, hey, let's do some mods first, but I bought a cheaper, older, higher mileage vehicle, and this is just the reality of what's wrong with it and what it needs. So if you followed along for a while, this used to be where I worked on everything. It's my one-car garage, and now it's a gym. It's my home gym. Got a little bike rack, got some weights, got my bikes, and everything like that. Got a little TV. It's kind of a whole new workspace just to focus on fitness and health. And I moved all of my car stuff down to my shop space, which I am slowly kind of working on and should have done soon so that I can work on this Lexus. So it's been a little bit of an adjustment period here the last few months, but now that I have this car and it needs stuff, that's where it's gonna go to work on it and bring you along on the journey. I'm gonna try to film everything I can, see if there's a valley plate leak, coolant leak, anything like that. The Toyota and Lexus V8s are notorious for that. Gonna look at injectors, harness, the fuel pump gaskets. I'm gonna do the valve cover gaskets, do an oil change. I'm just gonna do everything I can think of that it could be, plus some other maintenance to try to get this running great for the next 100,000 miles. I know this is not the exciting update I hope to make. It's not, hey, let's go do some fun stuff with the car or some, modifications, but this is just what I have to do. So that's what's gonna be happening. I don't wanna make this video too long or too boring, but the LS460 has some problems. It's got the cylinder 6 misfire. It also has a heater door actuator that needs replaced, a B1442. I have that part ordered as well. So there's just little things that I wasn't really aware of that kind of popped up after purchasing it, and I'm just gonna have to take care of those things as I can. I'm gonna tear everything out as far as intake, manifold, and everything like that, check the injectors, replace gaskets, and just get this thing where it needs to be so that I can enjoy driving it, especially before the cold weather and winter comes here in Pennsylvania. It's already getting in the 40s in the morning. It's gonna be in the 30s soon, and I don't wanna be working in the 20-degree weather. So that's the plan. I do have the Sequoia. The Sequoia is great. It's sitting at 316,000 miles. It's never let me down. It's doing really well since I've done the timing belt in June. And I'm just excited to be able to focus on this LS460 in my new shop space. So if you found this video interesting and you have any ideas on what it could be for the LS460, definitely drop them in the comments below. The misfire is usually spark plug or ignition coil, so the next real logical step is injector, but I just want to take it apart and check everything out and make sure that I'm not going to have any more problems in the future. But if you're interested in following along, definitely hit the subscribe button, drop those comments below, give this video a thumbs up if you found it interesting, helpful, you liked it. I want to say thank you for watching, and as always, keep those wheels turning. So long, farewell.